to figure right from wrong. And the tears been falling for so long. But the more you try to work it out, it seems you're going around in circles. But your best is yet to come. Activating success. Activating success. Activating success. Activating success. Get on your feet, hold your head.
Welcome to a new and exciting episode of Activating Success. You are too loaded to fail. It is possible to be celebrated. Today we're so honored to have someone who is a motivational speaker and who has been an inspiration to countless young people all over the world. Today we're honored to have the president of Okorie. He's Mr. Linus Okorie. Welcome to Activating Success.
I'm excited to be here today.
We're so honored to have you, sir.
I'm honored to have you too.
Tell us, what is success to you?
For me, success is simply self-discovery, discovery of purpose and pursuing purpose to the fullest.
Wow.
For me, that is success. When an individual finds purpose, what happens is that the individual begins to love what he does or she does.
Yeah.
And the individual begins to grow in that process and get to the point of personal development and then move to the level of self-mastery. When somebody gets to that level, the person begins to get a sense of fulfillment, because success is fulfillment. Once you're fulfilled in what you're doing, you're doing is adding value, to society, adding value to the world. You're actually successful. It doesn't matter whether you are a teacher, it doesn't matter whether you're a banker, it doesn't matter the kind of thing that you do. That is a definition of success that has at its foundation core values, because the individual has identified purpose and is giving all his best to ensure that he lives for posterity.
Wow.
That is success for me.
Powerful. You're doing a lot to encourage young people and to train leaders. Tell us more about it.
It will interest you to know that at the age of 19,
Wow.
about entering university, I was inspired. I read a book in the Bible titled, I think it's Nehemiah. And I was inspired by how one man was able to rebuild his country, mobilizing the people of his country to restore hope to his country. And so I thought that was amazing. And so I started as a 19-year-old boy. I founded Okorie, Guardians of the Nation International. As a 19-year-old boy, what was in my heart was that I wanted to groom and nurture leaders that would make a difference in Nigeria. People of honor, integrity, with a high sense of vision, with a sense of urgency to do something for the common good. And so I started out that way, went through the university, precisely Mosset University. 4 years of my stay in the university was intensive in the process of building leaders.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, I became Student Union Government President. And as a Student Union Government President, I showed the example of what leadership is about and is about. And at the end of the day, I was posted to the National Assembly, Abuja, to do my youth service. And while in the National Assembly, what I did significantly was understudy leaders, the lawmakers. I was understudying them on a daily basis. What makes this one significant? What makes this one ordinary? It was the process of doing that it was clear to me that if we do not do very massive promotion, if we not promote these leadership ideas massively, we will not be able to fix this country. And so post that, I went to the Lagos Business School to serve one of the greatest Nigerians, Professor Okorie, as his executive and research assistant. It was in the process of that I made up my mind clearly. I learned why nations are poor. I learned how to build institutions. It was after then I decided to go full-time into leadership development. In fact, motivational speaking is about 15% of what I do. The core work that I do is in the business of helping young people find leadership skills and growing them to the point where they can influence their communities and environment for good. And it will interest you to know that since we started, we have invested in over 60,000 young people directly who have gone through our programs with over 15 brands, helping different categories of young people. And it will interest you to also know that, as I'm talking to you right now, that Got Me, through television and radio, is inspiring millions of people across Africa.
Wow.
So for me, to that regard, is fulfilling and inspiring. At the same time, that an idea that started 21 years ago, specifically, is still alive, growing in leaps and bounds. Because I know that ideas don't die. And so that's why I would always say that the business of leadership development for me is one of the most important tasks for Nigeria at this point in time.
So true. For young people watching you right now, what is the most pressing message you have for them?
For first thing I'd like to say is that every young person that is listening to me today must understand that if you want to be successful in life, first thing that you have to do is don't crave for fame.
That's powerful.
Don't crave for money. Don't crave for power. What you should crave for is self-discovery. What is the original purpose why you were born? Because when you find purpose as a young person, what it does to you is that it puts you on the path of progress. Because if a man does not have a purpose for waking up, sleeping becomes interesting. Because what purpose does to you, when you discover purpose, you find out that you become restless in the pursuit of that purpose.
So true, very
true. So if you do that, you learn how to delay gratification. This concept of get rich quick will disappear because you're pursuing something, it takes you a long time. So vision pulls you because you have a sense of vision for the future. And what is driving you is not for personal aggrandizement. What is driving you is that you want to add value to society because you want to accomplish the purpose God has created for you. And it is in that regard, imagine if all of the people in this country today who are making decisions for Nigeria in different sectors of the economy, imagine if all these people discover their purpose very early and are in the path of their purpose today. Do you know that this country will be a very great country? But what you find today is lack of productivity across the country at different levels because a lot of people went to study courses in university or high institutions for the wrong reason, because they wanted money or they wanted to be doctors because they felt they would earn more money being doctors and things. So they missed the path to greatness. And that's why every young person, that the first thing I will ever say to them, first of all, is that you find purpose. When you find purpose, which is self-discovery, the next thing that you do as a young person is to develop your personal potentials. It's called personal development. As a 19-year-old, I could read 2 books in 1 week. I read. Every opportunity I had to meet with somebody outstanding that is a great person in society, I didn't start talking about my achievement as a young person. I wanted to ask questions. I wanted to sit, and learn. Every opportunity was a learning system. So the young person must build a learning system around himself or herself. Very important, because if you become a learner in everything that you do, then you begin to pick specific things that can add value to your life. So you build a network of human beings around you that are always giving you value. You know what I mean? And so in that concept, you build what we call your governance platform. Who are the people that you get advice from when you need it? Who are those that are accessible to you? So you begin to go for people who know more than you know. And so you stretch. As you stretch, you grow. You see, the more you stretch, the more you grow. And then by the time you now understand what we're talking about, then you get to the level of self-mastery. It is a level of self-mastery that you know a lot, but you remain humble, right? Because you're bringing value to society. You don't arrive too soon because you are also in the business of making sure that you're the best in what you do. So every young person listening to me today must learn how to be the best in what he or she does. If you do that consistently, become excellent in what you do, I can tell you after a while, a lot of people begin to appreciate you. And don't do so many things at the same time. Just find one thing that is important, and just do it over a period of time, because you gain stability, you gain strength, you gain knowledge over time, and then after a while you become a master in just one thing.
Wow.
And so when your name is mentioned, people already know exactly what your strength is. If I mention certain names right now, you even without being people just say, oh wow, he's a footballer. If I mention Michael Jordan, people will say, oh, he's a basketballer. If I mention so why don't you build something around you that makes it possible that the moment people meet with you, wow, they'll be like, you are the best in this thing. What Nigeria needs right now is young people who can dream beyond the now and who can stretch themselves beyond the now like never before, and who can be restless in the pursuit of those dreams and ideas that are not selfish, that are selfless in the context of the common good, to say, this gift of mine, I will develop it because my community needs it, my state needs it, my country needs it, rather than the pursuit of personal comfort.
Wow.
In my own thinking, that's what makes greatness outstanding. People who pursue life for the sake of other people, literally. So all the things that I've said here lies in the fact that if you don't find purpose, I can tell you the truth, you can never be happy as a young person. You are working in a bank as a young person right now, and that's not what God has asked you to do. You soon realize that at some point you will be unhappy until you get to do what God wants you to do.
So
and
true.
There's another concept I'd like to share about what is going on right now in this country. This concept that when the country comes up with the policy and say, we want to invest in entrepreneurs, we are looking for entrepreneurs, everybody wants to now become an entrepreneur, literally. And so people miss the point that it is not everyone that is called to be an entrepreneur. It is not everyone that is called to become, somebody that is a business owner for whatever it is. There are people who are also intrapreneurs, whose business are to work within systems. They must work for other people over a period of time. That is their calling. That's what they are born to do. If they don't work for other people, if they don't help other people gain stability, they can't find happiness. Society must teach these things, these principles to young people. And there's also social entrepreneurs. There are people that literally are not doing business to make money, but they are doing business in order to sustain, an idea or to solve a problem for society in ways unimaginable. You know what I mean? People in that space, they are providing services to the country that is outstanding. So these people are also providing great value. So in that context, we should stop this way of actually bringing everybody in one envelope to say, once we're looking for entrepreneurs, everybody moves up there. I'm an entrepreneur, write a business plan. Everybody can write a business plan. You know what I mean? But you need people with vision who realize that this is what they are called to do. Whether they are called to teach, they will teach effectively and they will make a difference. Whether they are called to dance, they will dance effectively and make a difference. Whether they are called to sing, they will sing effectively and make a difference, in as far as they are committed to making that difference. So that's what society needs now.
So true. In case you're watching us right now, be the best in whatever you do. You will only be recognized for what you have done with your
Hello, friend. I'm Mike Murdoch, keep watching Activating Success with my wonderful, wonderful friend, Love Idoko.
This is Bishop Noel Jones, and I want you to continue watching Activate Success with Love Idoko.
Talking about your mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, if you're asked what is the strongest lesson or the greatest lesson you have learned from his life, what would it be?
The value for relationships.
Wow.
It will interest you to know that I had the honor of meeting with Dr. Miles Monroe in 2004 in Archbishop Benson Dausa's residence in Benin. I can never forget that day. It was so clear. It's so clear in my memory. What happened? I was on a dining table with Bishop Margaret Dahosa, Archbishop Margaret Dahosa, and she introduced me to Dr. Miles Monroe. Said, this is a young man that is doing a great job. 2004, I was just starting with my efforts. And then the next thing she said, this young man is in Abuja making waves in leadership development. And he said, Linus, he said, Jesus Christ raised the school of thoughts and changed the world. I understood that principle and I'm back to Bahamas. I've raised the school of thoughts and see what I'm causing my country to become. He looked at me in the face and said, Linus, what you're doing is a school of thoughts that will change this country for good. Right? It will interest you to know that I wrote him a letter after that experience, invited him to my board. And this great man said he was privileged and honored to serve in my board. My dear was still a seed. And this man, because of that relationship, the man could look into the future and he could connect with a young man with an idea to say, I will support this young man. He joined my board when he was a seed. And many years after, Dr. Miles had the privilege of having him live, holding my hand, and to the people of Imo State. The first time we visited Imo State, many years after that first experience, the vision had grown. The vision had started impacting thousands of people. And he was speaking to 1,500 young people, and he raised my hands to them, and he said to the people, this is your leader.
Wow.
I mean, Dr. Miles Monroe did that. And Dr. Miles Monroe will make you look like you are the best in the world. Do you know what I'm saying? The power of appreciation. He knows how to appreciate young people. He doesn't. He's a very humble man, a sense of humility. Every leader that wants to go far must understand that humility is the way to go. Dr. Miles Monroe will never treat you like you're just nothing. He treats you like you are almost a par. He makes you feel important. He makes you really important. And at the end of the day, with those kinds of values and pursuit of vision, when you sit with Dr. Miles talking, he shares his experiences, what he has accomplished with you, with a sense of pushing you to get the hunger to succeed like never before. That's the kind of person we're talking about. A lover of knowledge, a lover of human beings. He will ask you about your wife. He will ask you about your children. He will ask you. He will remember details. I mean, such a great, personality of note. And that's why I felt that, when he died, the world, missed such, a great personality of note. And I can never forget the 2 hours I spent with him at the airport, at the VIP lounge. Talking about things. And he saw my interview. There was an interview that I gave to a newspaper. And Dr. Miles, of course, he has been interviewed around the world by the best of the best. But he saw that interview. I was on cover page. And he so celebrated that interview for me. It was like, I'm going to rate this. It was like, oh, wow, Linus, great guy. And I'm like, oh my God, Dr. Miles Monroe. So I carried his back into the plane.
Wow. And
that was the last time. I could, a few months later, he was gone. But the point is that, this is, and these are the things that are rubbing on me as an individual, that, the sense of mentorship, that every man who lives, who is living today, who is successful, who thinks he's successful, and does not deliberately bring out himself or herself in terms of the context of a lady, to say, I want to mentor young people, I want to help young people rise. Young people are struggling. I want to let my hand become a strength for them, pull them up, and teach them principles on how to succeed. That's what this country needs now, and that was what Dr. Miles Monroe represented.
Powerful. Finally, sir, for someone watching you right now who is discouraged and confused about life and needs an inspiration to get to the next level, what word of encouragement do you have for such a person?
You're right there listening to me today. It will interest you to know when I started in life, I had a very close relations, a cousin of mine, top man in the army, military, who said to me, Linus, what you're doing is not going to work because I don't understand it. Now, the truth of the matter is that what you're going through right now, there are a lot of people who might not understand exactly what you're going through. But I want to look at you right in the face, look at me right now, and say that you can become anything that you want to become. Nobody has any right to stop you because your life does not depend on a third party. It is your responsibility to pick your vision and run with it. When you fail, what do? Stay up, get up, and pursue your dreams, because in my little life, I realized that dreams come true. You fail, you rise. You fail, you rise. It's called the keep at it factor. Stay at it. Stretch like never before. It doesn't matter what it is, but I want to let you know that if you can stay on with your dream, with every energy that you've had, praying that God will make it happen for you like never before. Stay in the place of prayer to say, God, help me to accomplish this. But always believe that it is possible. Because until you believe it is possible, then it is going to be possible. The challenges of life, the environment that we're in, I believe and I know is tough. But however, you are tougher, because a great man wrote a book once, Robert Schuller. He said, tough times never last, but tough people do. So what is inside of you is you're tougher than you can ever imagine. So why don't you spend quality time developing yourself as a person, stretching the best way that you can, and mobilize other people to support your vision, your dream. Your dream will come true. I want to see you at the top, because I know that leaders are always doers. So you don't spend time talking, spend time doing. Do all the best that you can to make sure you don't stay on the floor, because posterity is actually waiting for you. There are young people that their successes are dependent upon you, so you cannot fail them. This country needs you, so you can be the best that you can.
Wow, that was so powerful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. You can be the best that you can. Update your knowledge. Read books. That you know it yesterday does not give you automatic victory today. You must update your knowledge. Get excited about life and do something positive with your life. Thank you for watching. Join us, same station, same
You've been trying to figure right from wrong. And the tears been falling for so long. But the more you try to work it out, it seems you're going around